Marge Obit from Islington. This is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 17th of July, 2025. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. On Friday the 11th, foreign ministers from 17 European countries made a joint statement about Georgia turning into an authoritarian state. They said the ruling party, the Georgian Dream, or Kotsebi, was jailing opposition leaders, activists, and journalists for political reasons right before local municipal elections. They said this crackdown, along with new laws that target civil society, put Georgia's democracy and ties with Europe at serious risk. They urged the government to release detainees, scrap repressive laws, and start a national dialogue before it's too late. Kotsebi responded by saying that their statement spread disinformation and unfairly attacked Georgia and its democracy. They said that arrests followed legal procedures, and only 2 of those jailed were even planning to run in the local elections. They didn't mention that the ruling party had said that they'd let opposition leaders out of jail if they agreed to run in local elections. In related news, on Tuesday the 15th, Kaja Kallas, the EU foreign policy chief, warned that Georgia could lose its visa-free travel with the EU if it doesn't follow key recommendations by the end of August. She said the Georgian government must protect basic rights like free speech, peaceful protest, and privacy. Kallas pointed out that jailing 7 opposition leaders clearly goes against these principles. She stressed that the EU can't keep offering benefits to a government that doesn't take its EU candidate status seriously, and if Georgia fails to act, the EU will have to respond, and that could mean real consequences for Georgian citizens. Since we mentioned the upcoming municipal elections, on Monday the 14th, Strong Georgian Coalition, or Zlieri, Lelo, and Gogi Gaharia's Party for Georgia, or Sakartvelos, signed a memorandum of cooperation in participation of the municipal elections. They said they will try to agree on neutral, nonpartisan mayoral candidate to share party nominees. They hope to achieve victory in big cities, particularly Tbilisi, where opposition has the most voters. Out of the 4 opposition parties that received mandates in last year's parliamentary elections, 2 are boycotting the municipal elections, including the Coalition for Change, or Tbilisi Plebiscite, and the United National Movement, or the Natsebi. They were the ones who received the most votes from the opposition. Next up, on Tuesday the 15th, media outlets share the news that Gogi Bachiashvili, former head of Georgia's National Co-Investment Fund and one-time aide to billionaire Bidzina Ivanishvili, ended up in the hospital after a violent incident in prison on Friday the 11th. Georgian court had earlier found him guilty of defrauding Ivanishvili of 8,000 bitcoins, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and sentenced him to 11 years in jail. He fled the country to the United Arab Emirates, but was caught and brought back during a secretive special operation. Bachiashvili said an unknown man entered his cell, beat him with his fists and glass, and seriously injured him. He believes the attack was meant to pressure him into handing over access to his bank and crypto assets, and accused the prison administration of working with criminals, saying his life was in danger. On Monday the 14th, the top floor of an apartment block near Sadguris Moidani underground station in Tbilisi collapsed. 2 people died. Another went to the hospital. Emergency crews, firefighters, and police rushed to the scene and evacuated residents. Tbilisi Mayor Kachi Kaladze visited the site and helpfully said that the building was dangerously unstable, marked for demolition, that officials had warned residents several times and offered them the opportunity to join a resettlement program if all of them had accepted the offer, since unanimous consent was required. The building then would have been demolished and replaced with a new one. You can check out a video showing the collapse and another emotional one of a man reunited with his wife. He had thought she died during the collapse. Speaking of videos, on Friday the 11th, footage showing a policeman roughly handling a senior citizen, causing him to lose consciousness, went viral on Facebook. The senior citizen, Pata Samarguliani, said he witnessed police being aggressive with a young man in front of his kids and asked the officers to calm down. When the policeman told him to mind his own business, Pata responded that one day people like him would make them pay for such actions. Police tried to detain him, handling him roughly as seen in the video, which caused him to collapse. Police later released a statement saying the video doesn't show the full context and aims to discredit law enforcement. You can judge for yourself by watching the video in the show notes. Similar situation happened just a day later when a group of people grabbed a man out of his car in the center of the city, pushed him into their own, and sped off. Later, the Ministry of Internal Affairs announced that it was a police operation and the person was arrested for disobeying police officers. However, witnesses were left confused as the arrest looked more like a kidnapping than a police procedure. No one was in uniform. The vehicle wasn't a police car, and the policemen acted like thugs. One girl even tried to intervene by opening the door of the car and trying to free the detained person before the car sped off. Video in the show notes. On that note about kidnapping, on Sunday the 13th, the relatives of Laura Atorkhanova, a 24-year-old Chechen woman who fled to Georgia to escape abuse, her family tried to abduct her. They found her in a cafe, then pressured her at a police station to say she wanted to go back to Chechnya willingly. Fortunately, she managed to alert her shelter's staff, and the public outcry stopped the plan. Her family had tracked her down despite a court order requiring police to warn her if they entered the country, but she did not get a warning. She remains under protection in a safe location. On to another story involving the police, but with a different outcome. On Monday the 15th, 5 people attacked police officers in the village of Kheltubani in eastern Georgia. 3 officers suffered injuries from sharp weapons, including a scythe, and were hospitalized. Conflict started when police stopped a car driven by a minor without a license. The minor resisted, and his father and relatives joined the fight. Authorities quickly arrested 5 suspects aged between 14 and 62 and charged them with group assault on law enforcement officers, punishable by 7 to 11 years in prison. In other news, on Wednesday the 16th, UNICEF shared research about Georgian youth that tested the skills of 155 participants aged 18 to 20 from 18 different cities. 25% of them couldn't clearly express their thoughts and used very basic language. Around 33% struggled to form solid arguments, showing weak critical thinking. Writing skills were particularly low among ethnic minorities with poor Georgian language skills. Most could follow discussions but made grammatical mistakes or used slang. Despite good digital skills, many lack knowledge in cybersecurity and science. UNICEF says schools must boost support, particularly for vulnerable youth, starting from early education. In business news, Basis Bank, owned by Chinese Hualing Group, has decided to purchase Liberty Bank, the third largest bank in Georgia. The National Bank of Georgia must approve the deal and is currently reviewing whether the sale complies with local competition laws. Liberty Bank is owned by Irakli Rukhadze, one of the richest people in Georgia and a close associate of Bidzina Ivanishvili, founder of the Kotsebi, former associate of Badr Patrikatsishvili. Rukhadze also owns Imedi TV, Georgia's largest and most watched television station, widely known as the main outlet for government BS. He said several months ago that he planned to sell Liberty Bank. The deal shows the growing Chinese interest in Georgia. Continuing with business, on Monday the 14th, financial police raided companies at Lasha Papashvili's business center. Authorities say they were investigating scam call centers. 2 businesses were shut down and their electronic devices taken. Papashvili is a multimillionaire businessman with close ties to the Kotsebi. He used to own Republic Bank. Many believe the ruling party is involved in, or at least allows scam call centers to operate in the country and receives significant kickbacks from them. So the news about the raid was a surprise. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. If you're listening to us on Spotify, leave a comment on the episode. Comments are private. We will not publish them. Drop us your email if you want us to get back to you. Nachmandis.